Hey guys, so today I wanted to share 10 different tips for having a productive homeschooling season. So I say season because for us, we kind of fall in and out of homeschooling seasons. One that has some good, more good days than bad days, and then sometimes we just have a rough patch. And usually that has to do with just a season that our family is in. Maybe the stomach flu or a cold is going through each of us, or maybe our schedules just aren't lining up the right way with extracurriculars, and you know, there are reasons you can pinpoint a rough season. But I'm talking about the seasons of time where you just aren't in a good groove and you can't quite figure out why. So I'm one to usually say grace for the moment, and his mercies are new every morning, and the days are long and the years are short, and those are the kinds of videos I usually like to make on my channel. But I just today specifically, if you're like me and you enjoy going out and searching for the content of like, I just want some tips, I just want some practical advice, that is what this video is today. So it's 10 different ways, and usually these are the things that the only reason that I know about these is because these are the things where I traditionally am dropping the ball. So in no way is this coming from a place of me saying we always do these things and we always have productive days. These are just some things that I wanted to share, help keep us productive when I notice we need to kind of get back on track. Recently, I will put a video up here. Recently, I did a video on 10 tips, I like the number 10 apparently, 10 tips for a rough homeschool day, just if you're in a rut that specific day. But this is more for like just the season, you know, if it's been a few weeks and you notice you're not really getting started on time, things like that. So number one, prep your busy work the night before. A lot of times I'm walking away from the table and the kids are getting distracted, or I'm getting distracted because I'm reading Story of the World and I didn't make a photocopy of the coloring page yet. So try to prep all of those little busy work pages, coloring pages, copy work pages the night before. Number two, plan for the in-between. So if you are going to be going from one subject to the other and you want to give your kids 10 minutes in between, try to have a plan for that in between. What we have right here, I don't know if you can see it, it's called the warm-up bin. This is actually a bin that I got from Organizer Logic, and it's all sorts of different logic games, puzzles, and some different art supplies, just so the kids can stay in the room. They can take a little break between subjects, but they're at least staying on task and staying in the room and staying engaged. But still, I don't want to go straight from math to science, say. So that's my plan for the in-between. And also, if they ever are like burning out in one subject and I just want to take a break, maybe I did plan to not have an in-between period between subjects, but I just noticed that they need a little break, we will pull out that bin. So have some kind of a plan for the in-between subjects. Number three, don't waste the morning space. This one is really specific if you have early risers, which I do. So don't waste that morning space. If your kids are getting up at 6:15 and you are getting up at 6:15, unless there's a reason why, homeschooling shouldn't start at 10. My kids are super productive in the morning, and they actually, right now in this season of our life, we are starting school at 7 o'clock on the dot, although school for us starts with chores and like math drill kind of things, which I have a video here on that. So my kids are starting at 7. If I don't start them that early, I don't want to start that early, to be honest with you, but the reason that we're starting that early is because they are up and they are ready and they want to do something, and so they will get their hands on a project or a toy, or they'll want to get their hands on the remote and they'll want to start doing something with that brain power. And so what I noticed is just that if I get them started right away on a task, they are really engaged with school for a really long time because they are fresh in the morning and I got them like going right away. So if your kids are that way, or you are that way where you kind of drag out the mornings before you start, don't waste that morning space. It can be really helpful to take advantage of that time. Number four, close the kitchen. This is really specific to my children who 24/7 are wanting to eat, or who want a really good big meal in the middle of the day. So prep your meals ahead of time as much as you can, and snacks and things like that. Kind of just have a plan for the day, and then close the kitchen down so they know there is a snack time coming up. We are not going to stop in the middle of this history lesson to take a snack. or you have it prepped that you can pull it out easily and continue reading to them. Number 5, outside time. As counterproductive as it seems to take an hour in the middle of your homeschool day to go outside, it's actually really rejuvenating for a homeschool day to let the kids go out, whip around on the scooter, swing back and forth, have some unstructured playtime, specifically outside in nature, before you come back in and get restarted. I used to think I would lose my kids to that they wouldn't want to come back in, but actually I found out that they're quite refreshed after having a little bit of outside time. Was that number 5? So number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, yes. Put your phone away. Just put it away. I have a specific ringtone that I have set for my mom, my dad, John's mom, John's dad, and John. So, and then if any of my friends are like about to have a baby, I will assign them a ringtone. I'll say, you guys are special because you have a ringtone in my phone right now. And everybody else is on silent. I know there's a way. I'm not really that good at technology, believe it or not. I know there's a way that you can have like a do not disturb setting, but I just bought a silent ringtone for 99 cents, and I assigned that to all of my contacts except for those few people. So I put my phone in a cabinet so I don't see it, and then I'll hear it if it's somebody whose phone call I would typically need to answer in the middle of the day, because those people know not to call me during the homeschool day unless it's important, and then everything else I'll get to at lunchtime if I'm being really good about it. Number 7, professionalize the day. The whole reason and purpose behind the name Full-Time Wife Life is because I left a 40-hour job to come home, and I really didn't see how I was going to be as fulfilled as a stay-at-home mom, which I know it's what I've always wanted, so that might sound what? Like I'm contradicting myself. Okay, my battery died. I was just saying, at the time I was in a really good working mom groove. My kids were well taken care of, where they were going, and I was enjoying it, getting a lot of fulfillment out of being a working mom, and our schedules were great. But for different reasons, I ended up coming home that year, and I just thought, I'm gonna make this my full-time job. So hence the Full-Time Wife Life blog was born, because I just thought, well, if I'm gonna have to do this, I'm gonna make it my job. I'm gonna do it the best I can and challenge myself, keep myself motivated. So that's where that all came from. But what I found is that professionalizing homeschooling, making it my career, helps me stay on task, because oftentimes if we're falling behind, it has a lot more to do with me and my motivation than my kids' motivation. So the number 8, put your clothes out at night, put the kids' clothes at night. Take away that whole morning shuffle of trying to find the things, who has pants, who needs stuff washed. It helps a ton to lay it out the night before. Number 9, don't serve the schedule, have the schedule serve you. I could do a whole extra video on that. You guys can find that all over the place. I'm sure you've heard it a million times in various homeschooling blogs and books and things, but a lot of times if you are serving a schedule that is not working in your homeschool, you will not be motivated, things will not be getting done. If you're trying to make something work that just isn't working, then you're gonna just keep hitting a wall and not having a smooth day, which in turn is going to spiral into just a not smooth season in general. And then last but not least, well, last but most important really, factor in a mental break. And again, it sounds counterproductive, but to be honest with you, if you factor in some quiet time for the kids, it's important for them to have the mental break too. But if you have a specific time each day that you have a tea time or a quiet time, or you just plan to take a little bit of a mental break, one, you save yourself quite a bit of frustration because you know that's coming. Sometimes if you don't see a chance for you to take a break is when a lot of the frustration arises. But also, again, you come back much more refreshed than if you hadn't taken that break already. So those are my 10 tips, which are mostly just my tips to myself, like, Abby, lay the clothes out the night before, get up early and get going. But those are the things that we kind of run into are most often the reasons that we are not having a productive homeschooling season. If you guys have any good tips to share, please leave them in the comments below. I love when you guys have advice for each other, because I think that this community of homeschooling moms is really awesome and full of great support, great advice, and great experience. So leave that advice in the comments below. I know you've got some, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.